All right, man, we got the rap beef of the century. I'm talking about grab your popcorn because we're about to dive into the most epic battle of the year. And no, it's not Jay-Z versus Nas. It's not Drake versus Pusha T. It's not Drake versus the 20v1. We've got something more exciting. I'm talking about Joe Budden versus DDG. Yeah, you heard me right. It's the grumpy podcast king versus the YouTuber turned rapper. And it's been a mess. All right, so let me fill you in, man. Here's what happened. Joe Budden decided to pop off his podcast about DDG's breakup with Halle Bailey. You know Halle, the angelic singer from The Little Mermaid, who somehow managed to date a dude who spent his rise to fame filming pranks and flexing on YouTube. Budden, in typical fashion, thought this was his moment to shine. He said he was relieved DDG and Halle split because, let's be honest, he didn't know who DDG was outside of being Holly's plus one.
DDG and Halle Bailey have broken up. I'm going to read y'all a statement from DDG says, "Dear friends and supporters, after much reflection and heartfelt conversations, Halle and I have decided to go our separate ways. The decision was not easy, but we believe it's the best path forward for both of us. I cherish the time we've spent together and the love we've shared. Despite the changes in our relationship, our love for each other remains deep and true. We are still best friends and adore each other. As we focus on our individual journeys and our roles as co-parents, we cherish the bond we've built and the beautiful moments we've shared. As we navigate this transition, we ask for your understanding and support. Thank you for your love and encouragement. Signed, DDG."
Damn, love loses.
Oh, damn. Fucking Ushman strikes again.
My question to my distinguished panel is a question I've been asking myself for quite some time. Who the fuck is DDG?
Because Gunna didn't announce that he had an opener. So I'm like, this is how the show started? And I'm like, I don't know this song though.
That remind me of when a stray cat got in the house one time. Like, didn't announce himself. I was just waking up to get some snacks.
Yo, what's up, little man?
Fuck you get in here.
Hey, nigga. What the fuck you doing in the
Fuck left the door open.
Looking for a snack too.
Oh, shit. Look at DDG performance.
But again, they know.
Harsh? Sure. True? Maybe. But Joe loves being spicy. Then Budden went on this whole rant about DDG being a clout chaser, basically saying that every time he sees DDG's name, it's attached to Holly's like a bad Wi-Fi connection.
They have broken up, so I don't get to keep seeing this nigga's name attached to this girl's name when I don't know him for nothing as a standalone. And for me, it's important to know people based off their own name and merit and what they have done. I don't even know enough about her. Like, I'm not her demo.
Right.
I'm not her demo either. But every time I see his name, it's attached to hers, and it's typically in some type of clout chaser fashion. So that makes me look at him a different way, and hopefully I get to look at him a lot less now that they've broken.
Well, she's extreme.
You know the DDG I know? That was Jake the Snake's finishing move.
It's the DDT.
Whatever. I don't give a fuck what y'all talking about. No, the DDG I knew. That's when Jake the Snake got real mad. That's when he did you like that. I don't know about this new DDG that y'all talking about. Shit. That's not really my bag. I just think that homeboy has presented himself to be a clout chaser for the term of the relationship. Last time being mentioned on this broadcast for the rest of eternity. You gotta weigh the pros and cons of leaving your famous girlfriend to get all of it.
And trust me, Joe was practically throwing a party that the connection had finally dropped. He even roasted an Instagram post that allegedly came from DDG's close friends list that had some wild things to say about their breakup, though DDG denied it faster than he could upload a vlog. But here's where it gets good. DDG did what any self-respecting 20-something would do. He took to social media and clapped back hard. First, he came to Joe's legacy, saying "Pump It Up" went gold after 20 years, you old bitch. And yes, DDG did pull receipts showing off his own gold and platinum records as if Joe was out here playing catch up. Not gonna lie, it's a little like watching a kid flex his new sneakers at a family barbecue while Joe's sitting there rocking the same dad shoes from 2003. Then DDG went full savage and brought Joe's age into the mix, saying, "Nigga got 30 years max of his life left," and hoped Joe forgot to take his magnesium pills. Ouch. Who knew rap beef in 2024 would involve multivitamins? Apparently, DDG's out here fighting ageism while collecting plaque. Now, Joe, however, did not lose any sleep. In fact, he hit back with a simple LOL on Twitter because Joe Budden is the type of guy to sip tea and watch the world burn around him. I guess when you've been in this game long enough, a YouTuber throwing shade is just background noise. Now, the verdict, this beef is like a generational tug of war. You've got Joe Budden, the elder statesman of the rap game, who's seen it all, throwing shade from his podcast throne. Then you've got DDG representing the new school, flexing his success and coming for Joe's neck. It's the perfect cocktail of clout, old school versus new school, and coarse social media. Let's talk about it. What's happening, YouTube? Welcome back to the LaFlare Lounge with your boy.
It's him.
What up, YouTube? It's the Top G, and if you're not subscribed to the LaFlare Lounge, then you better tap in now.
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
Yo, what's happening, man? Hey, look, man. I need y'all to hit that like button, hit that like button, hit that like button. Let's keep me in the algorithm. We've been doing well this month, man. Roll to 10K, man. I'm trying to get 10K subscribers by the end of this year. Let's do it, man. Just show some love, man. Show some love to your boy. Now, let's talk about this whole situation, man, because I feel like I'm kind of stuck in the generation in between these two individuals, right? You got Joe Budden in his 40s, DDG in his 20s. I'm in my mid 30s. So I kind of can see both points. You know what I'm saying? This really isn't a big deal. It's not the biggest deal, but I kind of laughed at it and I thought it was pretty funny. I wanted to make a video off of it, right? So let's talk about this situation, man. It starts off with Joe Budden. Joe Budden is doing what Joe Budden does best. I think Joe Budden is an old hater. I do think that he is just a hater at heart, right? And he's the type of person where he can make his hating make sense. But he did bring some points. You know what I mean? Now, the first thing I thought about Joe Budden when I thought about this situation with DDG was he was correct when he said he didn't like how DDG was handling this breakup. You know what I'm saying? I know Joe Budden is probably coming from the same type of like, he's trying to say like, be demure, be goddamn play about your shit, bro. Like you out here just putting up statements and shit. The girl ain't even put up the statement. But at the same time, we don't know what really happened in their relationship for him to feel that he had to do that. You know what I mean? So while I understand Joe's point, it's not our relationship to tell somebody how to handle their breakup. You feel me? And that's just that on that. I do think Joe was hating when he said, hey, you know, I'm tired of him being attached to her name, this, that, and the third. See, two things can be true. While being with Halle Bailey did make DDG a bigger public figure. That is correct. He's correct about that. DDG was already a popular figure before that. He already was on his own before that as a blogger, rapping. He was already making his own money. He was already probably a millionaire, if not close to it. He was already a very young, successful black man. So I can understand the frustration that DDG has when people create this narrative, but that's just what come with it. It's kind of like Nicki Minaj and Meek Mill. We all knew who Meek Mill was. Meek Mill was already hotting up and coming, but when you're dealing with somebody like that, that's what comes with it. And that's just what it is when it comes to this situation at this point. Now, as far as DDG's clapback, right? Pause. I don't know why that just doesn't sound right. And Shannon Sharp might get mad at me because I said pause. But hey, man, that's just what it is. What I will say about his clapback, right? We got to get some new jokes about Joe Budden, man. I know a lot of people are laughing and LL Cool J came and brought him, that needs to be investigated. There's no way after 20 years that Pump It Up is just now going going gold. That shit is platinum just off of You Got Served in every NFL, NBA, baseball arena ever known to man. So I completely disagree. Somebody's doing something wrong. That shit should be about 8-9 times platinum at this point. I'm just being honest. If y'all agree with that, let me know below. If you old enough to know what Pump It Up did when it came out, y'all please let me know, because I think that it's a whole lot of capping going on. But I do think that like the joke, I mean, it's gonna write itself when y'all aren't familiar with each other. You go for the most typical thing. But I think that it is a difference between Pump It Up then and like moonwalking in Calabasas and all that stuff now. Like, well, that's cool. I think that's more so like the effects of streaming. Pump It Up is definitely the better song than probably anything that he put out. That's just the honest to God truth. I'm just critiquing now, DDG. But you ain't gotta respect it. I understand the jokes. You gotta say what you gotta say when it's time to say it. You felt like you was disrespected, but I'm just being honest with you. When you keep kind of like semi crashing out, it's kind of looking like you hurting over this breakup when you might not be. I don't know what you got going on, but like the way that you going about it is kind of making you look like very, just like I said, not demure, not player, man. Like, you supposed to not let this shit bother you, player, but instead you ready to crash out. But you know, you're young and you'll understand later in life when you're old enough to learn to control your emotions. But yeah, man, at the end of the day, man, this ain't nothing but a generational divide. And like I said, he doesn't, Joe Budden's not sitting around looking at YouTubers. So he probably wasn't familiar with DDG because DDG was a YouTuber before he was ever a rapper. And then his rap is not the type of demographic for Joe. And then Joe, people don't know him because he's just an old, retired, washed rapper. But you know, rappers don't really respect podcasting like that either. So he's looking at Joe like, man, you just nothing but a has-man. You're an old hater that's just being desperate and trying to get clout off my name. At the end of the day, both of you guys come off the Cloud Olympics, and I think that y'all will sit down and y'all will be cool again, because I just know how it is. When you're the old head, you don't really take no offense from these young niggas, man. Y'all can sit down and talk. When he's ready to sit down and talk, bring him on the podcast, have a discussion. I know how this works with Joe. This is all that's gonna happen. It's the same thing over and over again. He beasts with all the young niggas, Lil Yachty's, the Migos. Like, this is what we've seen year after year after year. Y'all keep falling for it, and what's gonna happen is when y'all are ready to calm down and talk, you'll be on the podcast, and it'll be a nice little podcast behind the paywall. And that's just that on that. That magnesium joke was funny though. I will give you that, DDG. That was funny. That was the funniest one. So y'all let me know what y'all think about this, man. Who's the bigger hater of this situation? Who's the most wrong in this situation? Y'all let me know down below in the comments. Like I said, man, we going to the road to 10,000 subscribers. So if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. And if you have, just hit the like button. If this is your first time being here, second time, third time, just hit the like button for me. That's all I'm asking. Let's get me an algorithm, baby. And we out of here. Boom.
It's him.